What's up, Pyro crew? Mike here, and today I want to talk to you guys about designing for sound. And what I mean by that is instead of focusing solely on the visual aspect of a firework, we're going to also focus on the sound that it makes, not only leaving the tube, but as well as breaking in the air. The speed of sound is about 1125 feet per second, and that translates in a 1/4 show, where the audience should be about 300 feet away, to about 0.27 seconds. So almost 300 milliseconds for that shell break sound to reach the audience. Not every shell needs to be adjusted for sound, of course, but the majority of them. And I've been doing a lot of work on this lately, and I think it makes that much more impact and your show even that much more professional. So as you can see, I've got Finale 3D in the background here, and you do not need Finale 3D to make this work. You just have to do a little bit of calculations, know how far away your audience is, and adjust from there. So I've got this up just to show you visually how this works. So it's about Christmas time. Merry Christmas, by the way. And I've got some Christmas music here that I'll use to show you. So let's get right to it. We've got a little sample. Let me play this for you. So I think I want to hit right on that. So I think we're going to be right about there. Hit I to insert a placeholder, and let's check that out. Let's zoom in real quick. All right, so we're going to move that right there. So let's grab a shell. I've already got one here selected, a 62 millimeter flower brocade. And we'll insert it in those two positions. Zoom out a little bit, and let's see what that looks like. That's pretty epic. Okay, so one thing we need to do is adjust some of our settings. Let's go to File, Render Settings. And in order to really hear the breaks, we're going to have to turn our song volume down. Normally, I would design it about 0.5 all the time. But in cases like this, I think we'll take it down to 0.2 so we can really hear the breaks. Another thing while we're designing is we'll uncheck break time randomness, and that'll put that break and the sound exactly where we want it on the timeline. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Much better, much better. Okay, so right now it seems like the sound is instant, and that's Finale 3D's default setting. So here is a pro tip for Finale 3D. I just learned this yesterday, 2 days ago. I actually, well, here, let me show you first. Go to render setting, or oh, no, I'm sorry, not render settings. It is show settings. And then down here, disable speed of sound delay. So I emailed Drew at Finale and said, hey man, I've been working hard on timing the sounds of the effects for the audience, based on that speed of sound. And it would be really nice if Finale 3D could take that into consideration. And of course, hidden in the menu, he responded and said, that already exists, dude. I'm like, yeah, of course it does. So, that just shows you the power of Finale 3D. There's so many things hidden in here. So as you progress, figuring these things out, and that's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to help you. So if you didn't know about this, uncheck this disable speed of sound delay. So now we're going to get a delay in the sound. So let's see what it would have looked like and sounded like in reality. So that boom of the break just didn't hit on that beat. And sometimes you want it to. In this case, I really want it to. So what would be nice is if it had like a snap to circle here for the sound, but it doesn't. So We're about 300 feet away. And what that means is we're going to want to back this up about 300 milliseconds. And another feature of Finale, if you didn't know, is to go to show settings. And then there's a set timeline nudge delta. And what this means is when you hit Control Shift back arrow or right arrow, it's going to nudge the effect this many milliseconds or whatnot. I've got it set to 100 milliseconds, so that's a tenth of a second. So in order to account for the speed of sound, I'm going to back these up. Control Shift 1, 2, 3. I'm going to back them up 300 milliseconds. And let's see what that sounds like. Much better. And the visual, it's not perceptible. You can't perceive the difference. And that's why I've always said that being early with a shell lift time is much better than being late, because it's hard to perceive that. It's beautiful. All right. So designing for sound obviously has much more implications. 30 millimeter comments, 20 millimeter comments, 22s. Those types of things aren't as important. Sometimes I back them up like a tenth of a second, in addition to like a tenth of a second pre-fire time, so 0.2 overall. And that's just to get that effect started so the audience can perceive it. But I'm not too worried about the sound of it because they're much quieter. Usually the music is loud enough. But with the shells and sometimes like the big 50 millimeter mines, like a gold blink, right? You want to boom right on that beat. That's where you want the audio of the effect to really shine. I hope you guys learned something new. If you did, you know the routine. Like and subscribe.